Alright people, quick update now that phase 1 of the home studio is complete. Let's go inside. To explain a bit about phase 1 and phase 2. Phase 1 is creating all the stuff and putting all the stuff in place that's possible to create before the humidity problem is resolved. Afterwards I will start really pimping it out and making an entire frame covering the front section of the room with acoustic paneling and all that good stuff. But for now, maybe the problem is resolved, but we have to wait for the rainy season here in Belgium to make sure that that problem right there is actually not a problem anymore. Okay, let's start at the back, just because starting at the back makes so much sense. We have 2 chairs. They're meant for sitting. In between the chairs we have a table containing the Dato Duo. This is a synth that got me started again in July of last year. So I'm really satisfied. I'm really glad that this thing arrived in the mail, because otherwise, well, maybe I would just still be wasting my time watching TV and stuff. Behind the synth we have the dehumidifier. It's just a place to put it, because it's not even connected right now, because it's not the real rainy season at the moment. Behind the chairs we have the door, which is now covered up and contains a thick layer of 13.5 centimeters of rock wool behind it. As you will see throughout this video, I really love my rock wool. Here's the window. Like in the last video, it's still covered, also containing 13.5 centimeters of rock wool. Moving along, we have the DJ booth. In my last video you can see it's actually just some IKEA table just standing there looking ugly, but now I took the time at the beginning of this month to create a DJ booth to look a bit nicer and also help with the acoustic treatment, because obviously, since I like all that rock wool, it has a layer of 4.5 centimeters rock wool all around the sides, the back and the other side. It actually consists of 3, or if you count this one, 4 separate pieces, which all can be pulled apart, so it's not really connected to the table, it's just hanging there and crammed together real tightly. If you move over here, you can see there's a lamp and a somewhat accessible light switch. Here's a dust cover my mom created. If you remove it, you reveal the 2 Technics turntables and the mixer in between. There's also a Novation dicer mounted on each of the turntables. Because these are time encoded records, there's a lot of cables running from this station to the computer and back. There's a time encoded signal flowing to the computer, the computer puts an MP3 on it, sends it back to the mixer. The mixer mixes these two obviously and sends the signal back to the computer where it is output to the two main speakers over there. So besides all the rock wool, one of the things I wanted to incorporate was a clean way to manage all the cables in the form of these two shafts right here. The left one doesn't have that many cables running through it, but the right one, as you can see, really does. Also, this IKEA thing is the only real storage I got in here. First drawer contains some books, audio cables, USB cables, some random stuff, MIDI cables, a bag with I think this is my headphones, my secondary headphones bag. It has some cables inside. Here's a bag for the main microphone, and inside this case there's an Behringer ECM 8000, an ultra flat microphone. Some books of my wife's. There's not much inside the other drawers. Some spare cloth, and the bottom drawer contains the dust cover for my Ableton Push, which never resides in here except for this video, and a bag for my wife's second guitar, and heating. You've got to have heat. Here you can see all the cables that are running from the DJ booth to the computer. It's quite a lot, but I've squashed them all together so it doesn't look like that many cables, but I think there's several meters, tens of meters of cables running through here. Next we have my wife's keyboard with a dust cover, also created by my mother. Let's take it off. The keyboard is a Yamaha PSR-E 432. The microphone is a standard Shure microphone SM58. Moving along, we have the main acoustic panels. They are more than 1 meter wide and more than 2 meters high, and contain a layer of 9 centimeters of rock wool. So there's one on the right side, and one on the left side. I also have some bass traps, 2 of them stacked on top of each other for the moment. They're jam-packed with rock wool inside, and on top there's a Roland DR09 and a TB03, so an acid synthesizer and a drum computer, and a lava lamp for some atmosphere. Here we have the main right speaker, an Adam Audio A7X. On the floor we have the amplifier for the mix cube and the SL1 for the DJ setup. The stand you see right here that contains the main monitor is custom built, and it has 2 power outlets on the right side and 2 power outlets on the left side, and also some holes for some cable management. Although, well, cable management, It's quite a disaster, as you can see. On top of this stand I have another stand mounted that contains the secondary monitor, Aventone mix cube, a mono grot box. It's mounted it's just placed on top of this thing right here that contains a wooden plate at the top, wooden plate at the bottom, and some leftovers from my RLX mopeds that are actually sitting underneath the Adam audio speakers. The frame around the mopeds is custom built. I cut up the front of the mopeds because I didn't really like the look of it. Okay, we'll skip the main station for now, move on to the other side where we have the seats, the door again, my wife's guitar, the left acoustic panel, my wife's other guitar, two bass traps stacked on top of each other, a humidity meter, the left lava lamp just doing its thing, and here this is something I just placed here today, kind of like the Dato Duo synthesizer, a memento of years past. My original copy of Reason 2.0 must be more than 15 years old right now, I think. And finally the left speaker, same configuration, moped underneath and the frame around it. Moving on to the main station, we have another chair for sitting. On top we have the Aventone mix cube. I don't know if you can see it, but it's angled downwards quite a bit, just like the Adam audio speakers, to be directed straight at my ears while working at the station. Here we have the main monitor. It's a 32-inch monitor, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Currently displaying Reason. Below we have the secondary monitor, 24-inch monitor, currently displaying Ableton Live. It's a touchscreen, but I don't really use it as a touchscreen. It's just handy to have it set up at an angle like this. Here's my latest addition to the studio, Ableton Push. I've been learning it for the last 2 weeks. The first 2 weeks of September I've been creating the DJ booth mainly. This stand right here for the mix cube was also created in this month, and the frame around the mopeds. So Ableton Push, still getting to know it, but it's turning out alright. To the right we have some keyboard, generic keyboard, and here we have the Nectar Panorama P1 for controlling Reason. The audio interface is a complete Audio 6. At the front we have the microphone attached, the headphones attached. These headphones, by the way, are Pioneer HRM7. Great headphones, really revealing during the mixing process. At the back we have the outputs going to the Adam audio, USB cable to connect it to the PC, of course. The cable going to the mix cube on top of the main monitor, and the inputs coming from the Serato, the Rain SL1, the mixing setup, the DJ setup. Below we have a PC custom built for the studio, notebook, and back here we have a box with my secondary headphones, Audio Technica. I don't know exactly the name. It's something with 40 in the name. And here we have some printouts for some pieces of the Ableton menu I printed out. Keyboard shortcuts, index, table of contents, and push controls. So that's some studying material that I've been working with the last days. Okay. So, well, I shot this video because, well, phase 1 is complete. Everything is in place. Just waiting for the humidity problem to be hopefully resolved so we can move on. And obviously, I've been working on this piece of hardware very intensively the last 2 weeks. So here's the push, here's Ableton, and here's Reason. The last thing I did today was try to use the push to control Reason through Ableton. It's turned out to be quite easy, and it was pretty successful. So I made a little project just to demonstrate how that goes. So so here we have Reason, which is familiar to me and not scary at all. Here we have Ableton, new, scary. Ableton push, new, pretty scary. So the goal of this project was to control a Reason through Ableton Push and Ableton Live. As you can see, I have a synthesizer, a Tor synthesizer with the patch I am Tor loaded, and the grain sampler with some preset inside. They're all mapped to the push right here. So you can see that the grain is playing. Epic piece of software, this grain synthesizer. So this pad right here controls an instrument in Reason. This pad right here controls the drum computer in Ableton. So we have Ableton playing drums and Reason playing a pad. If I push the next pad, we see that Tor also starts playing some rather funky stuff. Okay, so this patch right here, I am Tor, is meant to establish the fact that this very manly synthesizer is indeed Tor. So let's finish this video by letting Tor do his thing and establishing its identity. Thank you for watching.